Hey everyone, so today we're doing a finance problem and it goes like this. It says Tavo bought a house for 980,000 rands. He paid a deposit of 10% of the selling price of the house. He obtained a loan from the bank at an interest rate of 11% per annum compounded monthly to pay the balance of the selling price. He agreed to pay monthly installments of 10,000 on the loan. How much did Tabo borrow from the bank? So this wants to know, after paying the 10% of deposit, how much is left that he needs to be helped by the bank in the form of a loan. Then number 2 says, how many months will it take to repay the loan? So how many payments are we going to make? Then number 3 says, calculate the balance of the loan immediately after the 90th payment or 90th installment. Then number 4 says, Tabo experienced financial difficulties after the 90th installment and did not pay his 91st to the 95th installment. The end of the 96th month, he increased his monthly installment so as to pay off the loan in the same time interval as planned initially. Calculate the value of the new installment. All right, so let's start. So in this question, they just want to know what the amount will remain, what the remaining amount would be after we've minused 10% from this. So it's a quick calculation and it goes like this. The deposit amount will be 10% of the 980,000, which is 98,000. And then it means the loan amount, we must subtract that house price by the deposit amount, and it gives us 882. Right, then the next question, how many installments will it take to finish off this 882,000 loan when it's charged 11% per annum interest, compounded monthly? Okay, so we'll use the present value formula. So the formula says PV equals to X multiplied by 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative N over I. So it means we need to find what N is in this case, because we don't know how many months, but we know what the interest rate is, and we know what the payments are going to be. We know what the loan amount is going to be. So we have the loan amount as 882,000 and the payment is 10,000 while the interest is 11% over 12. It's over 12 because it's compounded monthly. Now let's substitute that and make N the subject. So making N the subject, we end up with a formula like this. And then substituting, we get negative the log of 1 plus our interest rate as the base, and then the argument of the log is 1 minus 882,000, our PV, multiplied by 11% over 12 divided by our installment X. Now let's quickly go to a calculator and see how much this is going to be. So we will use the log with the two boxes. Let me go back there and put a negative. And then we will have 1 plus our fraction of 11% over 12. And then in here we will have 1 minus our fraction. And in our fraction we have 882 in the numerator, 1000, multiplying another fraction which is 11% over 12 divided by our monthly installment of 10,000, and this gives us 181.1379. Okay, so it means we have our n as this. Then this means that there are 182 total payments. There'll be 181 payments of 10,000, and the last payment, because of this fraction that is less than 1, will make the last payment that is less than 10,000. So the answer is 182. So be careful, not 181. We don't round it off, we sort of round up our number. So this will make it 182 payments. So on the 182nd month will be his last payment. Now 8.3 says calculate the balance of the loan immediately after the 90th payment. Okay, let's set up the timeline and see what we're talking about. So we have all the payments that were coming all the way from the start of the loan, month 1 up until month 90. So we want to know what this point, after paying this amount, what we will have here. Now, as we saw in the fourth question, the next question, we are going to move the balance that we got here all the way to the 95th month, so that we can now calculate what the new installment is going to be. So, but we need to know what the balance is here first. So there'll be this new amount that's being paid over up until the end, where we get our loan repaid in full at the end of 182 days. So there'll be the same axis here up until the last payment here. So let's see how to calculate this amount here, the amount of the balance here at T90. So the outstanding balance, what we will do is we will use the payments that he's making, we will move them forward in a future value formula, and then we subtract them from the lump sum of 882,000 that has moved without any change up until here. So we will take the 882,000, we move it normally as a lump sum for 90 months. Then we subtract the future value of the 10,000 payments that are being paid into the account. This is the best way to get the balance. There is the other way, but that's not always accurate. When the amount that the person is paying into the account was not calculated by the formula, it was the one he just chose. So this is the safer method to get to the answer. Okay, now let's go to the calculator and see how this is going to end up. We will have, let me clear this up. Then we will have 882,000 multiplied by 1 plus our fraction of 11% divided by 12. All this raised to the 90. Then we subtract this fraction, where in the bottom we have another fraction of 11% over 12. Then in the numerator we have 10,000 multiplied by 1 plus our fraction of 11% over 12. This is raised to the 90. And then we go down and subtract a 1, and then we close the bracket. This gives us an amount of 615,991.695. Okay, 615 rands 991.695. So that is what we have here. Now notice I'm not rounding this number because we're going to use it, and well, to answer the question we would say that the answer is 615,991.70, but the amount needs to not be rounded so that it's accurate. It's the more accurate if we don't round it. Okay, that's the answer to this question. Next, we're going to figure out how much this money is going to be after it has moved for these months up until the 95th month. Since Tao last paid on the 90th month, and now the next time it's going to pay is going to be on the 96th month. So we need to put the amount here so that we can use the formula as though this is where we are taking this loan, and we need to find out what the x needs to be to finish the loan in this number of months. So we need to move this amount all over to T95, or the month 95. So let's do that. So we're simply going to move this with a normal bracket raised to the 5, and then this gives us 644,747. I forgot to show this on a calculator. Let's show that this is the case on a calculator. So I am going to take this amount and store it at A and use it the way we have written here. So the A stands for this value there that I've just stored. So we have 1 plus, then we have a fraction of 11% over 12 raised to the 5. This is the amount. Again, I'm keeping the decimals as they are because we're still going to use this amount. Right. So that's 8.4. Up until here, we have this amount now. Now we need to regard this as though this is the new loan, and then we need to figure out how many months it is from here to here, and then calculate the X that needs to be paid, or the installment that needs to be paid. So let's continue. So let's now find out what the number of months it will be. The number of months will be 182 up until here. So the quick formula is to say 182 minus 96 plus 1. Almost like that formula we use with sigma notation, where we take the top minus the bottom and add 1. So, but if you don't understand that, you can actually count how many we need to pay, how many payments we're going to pay until the 100th one. So it will be 96, 97, 98, 99, and 100. That's 5. 5 payments plus another 82 payments. That will make 87 payments. So this is how the other way to do it. So if you make a mistake, don't not make a mistake of just subtracting these two. You must add a 1 as well. Okay. So now we know how many payments we need to make to finish our loan in that same planned time interval. Okay. So we are going to take this and put it in our PV formula. And then we're going to make x the subject. So it means we're going to multiply both sides by this fraction here. So we're going to have this number multiplied by this fraction. And then we divide by this square bracket. So this is what we end up with. Okay, let's go to the calculator and see what that becomes. So we have this amount again. So let me store it again. I'll store it this time at B. So we're going to use B in place of this value here. So we need a fraction. Let's clear everything. We need a fraction. And then on the top of the fraction, we need that B that we just stored multiplied by another fraction of 11% over 12 divided by our square bracket. We don't need the bracket. We can just go right ahead and just type 1 plus the fraction of 11% over 12 raised to the negative 87. Then we get an amount of 10,786 rands and 84 cents. Okay, so that is 10,786. I hope you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of this type of videos. Leave comments in the messages below. Subscribe, send this to other people, and share my videos, and like the video please. All right, I'll see you in the next one.